always look for the easy way that doesn't take anything away from flavour. Well, it is autumn, my favourite time of the year, and I'm going to cook with some quinces, but I'm going to give you some tips because quinces are the hardest fruit of all to peel, core or cut up. So I'm going to show you really cheeky ways. And I'm going to make a crumble because everyone loves a crumble. And for the top, it's so adaptable. I happen to have some oats. I have a little mill in my kitchen. I'm very spoiled. I was given it as a gift from my very close friends for a big birthday years ago. And so I always mill my oats freshly. That's why these are here, because the flavour is so amazing. I have just the flours in my cupboard that happen to be, there's some spelt, there's some wholemeal, but it could be plain flour, it could even be self-raising flour. Some people use that. I have some ginger left over, some crystalised ginger, but the constants for me, so they're the sort of, if you've got it, use it. The constants for me are really good butter and brown sugar to make the base of the crumble. I cheated and I've cooked the quinces already because they took about 50 minutes to cook, and because our quince orchard, most of it goes to quince paste along with many other growers, I only get to use the windfalls, and so they're harder to use as it happens. So these are the quinces that I haven't bothered to peel because I love the peel once they're cooked softly, and they had an hour's cooking and they've gone that orangey colour. If you cook them long and slow, they'd go deep red. I rub the butter with the flour till it's sort of breadcrumbs really. You could do this in a machine and just pulse it, but when I think about it, it'll take more time to pull the machine out and stuff. So I rub the butter in till I've got the breadcrumbs, and then I'll put in the oats, and I just happen to have half a cup of oats. Almonds would be great, and this is what I mean. Don't be limited. You can do it without any of these embellishments except for the butter, flour and sugar. So I'll put the oats, the sugar. Now I've used 2 tablespoons of sugar here, and that's because I put too much sugar in the quince and the ginger. I'll throw all that in, mix it up, and there is my crumble. I'll just give it a good mix and see. I don't want it to clump together too much, but I want little clumps. That if you don't have enough butter, you won't get any clumping. So that's done. Now, how simple is that? The cooking of the quinces, well, as it happens, quinces take a lot of cooking, and so I cut them very oddly. I didn't worry about making them perfect, but to make them soft, just in some lemon, just covering them in water with a little cartouche. This was 6 small quinces that size. If you were using apples instead of quinces, you might put some cinnamon in. I'm preheated the oven for 200 degrees. It can ooze out because I've got it quite full in this container. So I'll put a tray under it and I'll look at it for 30 minutes time. The quinces are already cooked, but it doesn't matter if they cook and get softer and almost mushy in the extra cooking, but this is what we want to cook the crumble. Now, I was serious when I said these are really hard to peel to core. So this is the trick. If you want to cook them long and slow to get them deep red, the way to do it is simply cut them in half or perhaps even in quarters. I can take that bit off, that's just sunburn. And then cook them in a sugar syrup And once they're cooked, then you can peel and core them, and they're really, really soft. Because I'll just show you how hard they are to do it without. You've got to really work at it, and then you have to go in to this hard core bit here and take it out. And then the peeling, because if you want to peel, it's so rough and curved, it's a real job. It's a real job to peel. So it's so much easier if you cook these whole. When they're nice and soft, just spoon out. Always look for the easy way that doesn't take anything away from flavour. 40 minutes in the oven, and you can see it hasn't gone over, which is great. And I love to see that bubbling. You can see that colour is increased in that extra cooking of the quince, and a little bit of burnishing on the quinces on the edges is lovely. And then ice cream, runny cream or double cream. There's something incredibly comforting about a dessert like this. And of course, whatever fruit you have, but just in case you have a quince tree in your backyard or a friend's and it's laden with fruit and some are falling on the ground, this is the perfect thing to do with it. Using those flours, the wholemeal and the spelt flour, the bit of ginger, the oats, and of course the butter and sugar. The crumble is great. The quinces are beautiful, and the cream, well, there you go. Hardly anything to do.